and love in our hearts. And they actually got a nifty grade 25 decimator, so Malachor, Scriff, and Wisteria doing a very nice job on that end. And we also are going to be having Noerti, Gazhag, and Darkness Master going to be from the Anime Ronkarit team, as they are, have not been in the Kill the King tournament series as this exact team, but we have seen these players throughout the past and in different and various tournaments, so this is going to be lining up to be a spectacle, as it is grade 23 versus grade 25, both teams having extensive knowledge of the game, and we are going to get this one underway, so ready up, and I think we are going to get this on the move, but we just finished up the in-game tournament. I believe Gazhag was in there, so that's what we were waiting for. And by all means, if you do want to check out the brackets, go to blgtv.net. If you're watching it off the own stream page, go to blgtv. Right there, I'm going to be in the live stream posting the brackets, because it is not our usual brackets link. This is an ESL tournament, so we do not have the rights to... well, I guess we were just too lazy to change our brackets link. And so I'm just going to post it in the little chat. And hopefully Cybertronics and Rexus will keep up with that as well. As we are going to be going over the picks for all the Bloodlines. They already did their bans of maps while they were in the in-game tournament. And we're going to be seeing a Harbinger and Alchemist on the cold side up against the usual Donors by Heart team, which is going to be Herald, Inhibitor, and Scriff, most likely on the Vanguard. Not exactly sure. He might just be, saying some stuff to his teammates, getting ready for their kind of lineup. As Noerti, what is he going to pick? I would imagine a Seeker. Yes, it is. So it is going to be Seeker, Alchemist, Harbinger. Pretty durable lineup right there against the usual Donors by Heart team. Similar. What are you predicting the outcome of this match to be, or what do you think the strengths and weaknesses of Donors by Heart will be against this cold team lineup on Anime Ronkarit?
That's what I love about Donors by Heart. Their comp is so balanced. They have good, solid defense with Chrono and the Vanguard Reflect. So that gives the Noerti on the Seeker a little bit more trouble, and Gazhag as well with the Shadow Bolt. They have to be a bit more careful about how they use those abilities. Those abilities that do huge burst damage, but because they have the potential of getting them reflected back in their face, they have to play a lot more careful. And they also have Rune Shield. So it's like they're able to take some risks. They're able to get in there and wreak havoc because they have these outs. So this is why it's such a balanced, interesting competency play. As dude, buddy, go ahead and take it off. Dude,
all right. Well, we saw Harbinger get that first blood right there in this tournament, but right now, Noerti just trying to hold his own. It looks like the Vanguard's just going to be charging on in. Malachor really has not been touched, as we already have Dark Ward on Gazhag. He's going to be spamming out Shadow Bolts pretty soon. Lockdown does come out, as well as a Runic Confusion and Heroic Charge. Great combo of ultimates right there. Malachor setting the Runic Confusion up with that lockdown. Wisteria getting a lot of damage off as that inhibitor, and it looks like Noerti is not out of the fight quite yet. He does have Marksman. This is going to be pretty tricky, as Gazhag is almost done with Wisteria, but that is not going to be the case, as the tides did turn, and this Donors by Heart team doing a very nice job comboing their ultimates. Maybe if they got on Malachor a little bit more, that could have been prevented. But Gazhag playing a really nice job. Darkness Master just not having quite as much luck over there on the Alchemist.
Yeah, kind of got caught out there. That's that combo that, of course, Donors by Heart are always known for. Lockdown into Heroic Charge from Scriff, and you guys will hear me. I get all excited when he goes off because it's just so epic. People die, and that's what we saw. Darkness Master got caught out, got locked down, 30% increased damage. Boom, to the face. Heroic Charge, 300 pounds of Vanguard. And that's never a good thing. It's already Noerti getting caught out and just getting hammered by Scriff and Wisteria. Nice taunt onto Noerti, and Scriff right now, he is sitting on a full Heroic Charge. He has a full meter, as well as Wisteria. There's the Runic Infusion into Heroic Charge, but Master gets a barrier out just in the nick of time to stop that. Nice snipe with the taunt, though, by Scriff. You're not getting away today, and that is it. We're back down to a 3v1, and that was just... I was about to say, this was kind of close. That first round was pretty close, but so it was just complete and utter Brothel Stomp. Like this, they all got their ultis so fast. They were fed meters so quickly that, there was just nothing that Cold Team could do that round. We didn't see the Dark Ward come out on the Harbinger as quickly either, so they had no answer to it, even though Gazhag 468 damage.
Darkness Master didn't even throw out one deadly injection. If you look at the scoreboard, look at that.
There's so much pressure.
Zero damage. There's no reason not to, though.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And, just barrier, healing potion, revitalize. I really would have liked to have seen him use a little bit more in terms of his EXs, as well as throw out that deadly injection. It's pretty good meter gain, and also it's, weakens the damage that goes out. And it looks like we are just going to be having that as a nice blood grip right there. Malachor can be punished. He already did use his space, but let's see what Gazhag will do. He throws out the affliction, throws out the blood grip. Nice job right there. Noerty gonna be just sniping off to the side, as it looks like we have Gazhag gonna be throwing out the shadow bolts. Boom, there it is. Malachor's taking big damage. I like this change up on the cold team, as Wisteria is just not getting any of Noerty's face. At this point, heroic charge goes out, but Darkness Master is just gonna barrier and be fine off to the side. No combo of ultimates from this Donors by Heart team, which led to the kills before. Alchemist is pretty sustainable, or pretty durable when it just comes to single pressure, as it looks like Ice Arrow, boom, Marksman, double Ice Arrow. Nice play right there. He used regular Ice Arrow, Marksman into another Ice Arrow, and I believe he followed that up with a Fire Arrow finish, if I'm not correct.
Yeah, that was double roasting going on right there.
Huge burst. That's awesome.
And it's really, you got to notice, Gazhag did not miss a single blood grip. And that is so huge. Like, landing that ability, it puts a silence on them, it yanks over to you, and you have all the opening you need to land a Shadow Bolt to the face, put them in a Plague, anything you want, So Gaz had huge control that round, and there, once again, lands it on Scriff. This guy is a beast at landing these so far, in this match, as tries to get that Shadow Bolt off, but Scriff's going to deny it and jump on top of him. Nice blood grip yet again. That loads him up, and just great job by Gazhag getting the pressure out there. Scriff, and Wisteria, they need to make something happen. Both rounds that they won, they got those kills onto Darkness, but Darkness really isn't feeling any kind of pressure right now. Barrier is out, so that's not going to make him a viable target. As Malachor's just getting completely focused right now, forces space away. Gazhag tries to blood grip him, but Wisteria gets in the way. Shadow Bolt comes out, but Chrono is covering him. He's not going to be worried about it, but Scriff is just caught in oh man, Scriff goes down. That was not enough, Malachor trying to heal himself, trying to get heals onto Wisteria, but Scriff was caught, between all three cold members, had nowhere to go, and Malachor just not in the right position to be able to support him. He eventually just dropped. We're seeing a complete turnaround here by a cold team. They're regaining the momentum. Maybe it was just a bit of the tournament jitters at the start there. They needed to execute a little bit better, but right now, we're definitely seeing a turnaround in their favor.
I am seeing that, but one thing I'm also seeing is, yeah, you're right. Darkness Master isn't feeling any pressure. Although it's not over yet. They just made it a 2-2.
There we are.
But Gazhag against against a Herald, not going to be pretty, as he can just throw out all those afflictions, throw out the Shadow Bolts left and right. Let's see what he does. And really, he didn't hit anything with his Dark Ward. So good kiting around by Malachor. Although Alchemist is going to be sitting pretty, Shadow Bolt right there. Malachor just trying to run away. It's going to probably come down to real HP. Nope. Another strike, and that's going to silence Malachor. Missed blood grip because of the Chrono, and Darkness Master actually now could be in a vulnerable spot, as we do have Rune of Confusion going to be coming out. Clarity Potion is down. Wisteria actually not going to be using that. And wow, Darkness could have just gone down right there in that one instant. Wisteria going to space in, going to use that Rune of Confusion. Is he going to use it now? No, he's waiting for the barrier to go down. One more hit, and he could be going. No, not going to happen. There it is. Actually, the Alchemist does go down at this point, but Dark Ward is out. Gazhag is going to try and do everything he can against Malachor, but a good space out. Going to avoid that affliction. And what looks like to be an advantage for the cold team quickly and suddenly turned around into this really mobile, warm team. Donors by Heart, Malachor just using his spaces correctly, not getting hit by affliction, not giving Gazhag any of that meter or the slow debuff that he wants, and that's going to be a 3-1 finish. So really nice play, and unfortunately Noerty died in that last round. He didn't lock it up, he didn't try and run away from that pressure and heal up. Instead he was trying to go for that kill, got a little bit too greedy maybe, and that led to their demise.
Yeah, but once again, Gazhag, the only reason that round went on for so long is because this guy, I haven't seen him miss a blood grip yet. Like, he chronoed one at the end there, but 2v1, what was he going to do? He just threw it out there. But every single blood grip he threw out, he was landing. So that's, what bought Darkness a little bit more time to get those heals off. It was creating the openings they needed to get the offensive pressure rolling early on in the match. And we have to see a bit more, Noerty backing him up a little bit more with that. He lands that blood grip, and he hasn't missed one at the start yet. They should be communicating that and lining up the fire arrows or the frost arrows or some form of burst to really take advantage of the fact that that person is going to be silenced. So they're not going to be able to do a single thing to stop the damage that's coming at them. It's going to come down to Malachor and Wisteria or whoever is their teammates, who are going to be able to back them up and throw those defensive cooldowns out there. So, we just got to see a little bit more solid teamwork coming out of them at the start. And we're obviously seeing that they do have the staying power. They do have what it takes to win rounds. They just need to execute a little bit better.
Yeah, and they've been really close. Whether you see it as a 3-1 stomp or not, I mean, especially that last round, it could have gone 2-2 easily with just a little bit better positioning by Norty and not getting punished right at the end. And really, to tell you the truth, Wisteria and Malachor are a pretty solid duo. I say our Scriff is just there to just show his Vanguard chest hair, get everybody distracted, bait him with the little chicken. But once he goes down, don't think that this Donors by Heart team is that much weaker, because Inhibitor is a huge part of their gameplay. Malachor just can spam those heals out, throw the Chronos out, which really do a nice job of protecting him from any kind of blood grips or other, shots that come on through his area. And Malachor's actually improved his gameplay quite recently, within these past couple months, to be, a lot more dodgy, as we are going to be seeing the next action unfolding in this round right here, and I'm going to hand it off to Simler, my rioting caster.
Once again, with the blood grip, Gazhag getting Wisteria out of position and forcing him to use that Woji, use those movement abilities, and now he is going to be vulnerable. Let's see how Nority and Gazhag can. Nice read on the Wuju there. Gazhag was loading up a Shadow Bolt, but he did not hit Wisteria. He did not fall for that. Right now, we are having a bit of a collapse, though, as Lockdown is coming out. Nority getting caught. Scriff locked it up and just got that kill. That debuff is so huge. You're just taking insanity damage to the face, and there's nothing you could really do about it. Even if Darkness Master was to throw out a barrier or any kind of support, he can just get chewed up so quickly at that point, seeing as how there were 2 members on him, but already heroic max range heroic charge, from Scriff. This guy's so dirty with these. And once again, first round, 2 Donors by Heart. It also comes down a lot to Chrono. We're seeing a lot of good Chronos and Reflex coming out of Scriff, and that's throwing a wrench in things. Seeing as how a lot of these guys, they're relying on double range pressure. They're relying on that blood grip, and they're relying on those fire arrows to really get the damage out there. So having to work around those Chronos and Reflex is definitely throwing a wrench in things.
I would like to see Gazhag use Nether Shift more defensively rather than on himself. I notice he uses it when he's not in the worst of situations. And see, right there, he wasn't in any kind of trouble. But look at this. Now they're going to collapse onto Norty. They say, hey, look, you don't have Nether Shift up. And, that could have been a possible chance for a lot of damage. So maybe we can see a little bit of improvement on that end. Good fair by Malachor onto Gazhag. Going to reset the position. Norty going to be in the back trying to deal with him. Looks like Malachor has the ultimate. Will he use Temporal Lockdown? Yes, he will, but it's going to get interrupted by an Ice Arrow, and Gazhag's going to get those point-blank Shadow Bolts off with that Dark Ward. Here it is, Malachor hiding in his little emo bubble. Nice battle shout there by Scriff to heal up his allies. That's going to give the Worm team a little bit of a chance to catch up. Gazhag could be going down pretty soon, as it looks like Darkness Master going to throw the goo out. Scriff going to rush on out with that intercept, and good play right there. Gonna just relieve himself of any kind of pressure. Norty has the marksman, has double blitz up. Will he use it? 1 blitz, 2 blitz. He got intercepted. Ice Arrow coming out. He needs to use intercept maybe to do a marksman. No, he used EX Ice Arrow instead. I was about to say, if he used it, that would have been good. Gazhag with that Dark Ward going to be chasing out Malachor right there, as we are going to have Malachor trying to come in, but sniped by that blood grip into the Shadow Bolt. Excellent job right there. Buddy, I'm not letting you get away, says Gazhag. I'm not letting you take this round, but a great counter kill, just as I was blabbering on about that, as it is going to be Scriff and Wisteria versus Gazhag and Darkness Master. Darkness Master needs to get out of there. Against that double pressure like that, he is definitely going to be taken down, and that is probably going to be GG for this second round, unless Gazhag has the game of his life. But with the chickening jump from that 300-pound Vanguard with the sword and board, I think there is no chance whatsoever. Even though Gazhag played a magnificent round, it is going to be 2-0 in favor of Donors by Heart, and they could be sweeping this series with 2-0 against Anime Run Carrots.
I like Malachor. Who needs 3 players anyways? Seriously, you leave Scriff and Wisteria alive and they will go to work. Scriff is just a machine in any case. So, gonna see a bit of the zoning starting up here. Gazhag getting those M1s out, and a nice spear by Malachor to get that pressure out of there. He's gonna get it, but Shadow Bolt onto Wisteria at the last second. The debuff gets cleared because of Wuju, but that is some sick damage that Malachor is gonna have to get some heals up. but Wisteria is sitting on a full meter. Let's see when he decides to use it. Darkness caught in the corner, gets silence, and this is the opportunity. Beautiful job. Wisteria, Johnny on the spot, spacing in there. Runic Infusion just as the silence lands. Not a thing Darkness can do about it, and just utter domination coming out of Donors by Heart this last round. These guys so solid. That was flawless execution there. They had Darkness at a quarter. Scriff snipes the silence onto him with that axe to the face, and Wisteria sitting on that full meter chose the perfect time to use it. Spaces in and just nails her point blank. There was nothing Darkness could do, and just led to a quick demise by Nority and Gazhag in the end as well.
All right, yeah, and I really would have liked to have seen Gazhag use his Nether Shift more defensively. Many times in those rounds, I saw him just use it to get that 8 life leech and 8 damage off, right? As you pass through someone, but he should be saving it for Darkness Master. Harbinger can self-heal via the hemorrhage debuff, which comes from the blood grip and the affliction. So, and he was hitting all those blood grips, so he had no reason really to use his Nether Shift for that kind of 8 damage and 8 healing purpose. He should have saved it for Darkness Master and used it a little bit sooner, because I saw him use it eventually, but what happened was he would use it just a little bit too late after that heroic charge was already out, and it just was not enough to really support or help his ally. And I would have liked to have seen him actually play a little bit more defensive, to tell you the truth. Peel off of Darkness Master, get that blood grip to the back, pull Vanguard away, because Vanguard usually was spacing in and then just using his little shield slam for that extra mobility to get onto Darkness. And if you just blood gripped him back, Vanguard has no mobility. All he has is a reflect. But, you can still do a lot of damage in that time. And you can also make sure that your Alchemist, who is a very huge part of your gameplay, with very limited mobility because of all the control that can be thrown out, keep him alive. And I would have liked to have seen more deadly injections as well. I don't think I saw many in those past rounds either.
And it's it's also healers, they get they, like we've talked about in the past, where they get in that mindset where they're under pressure and all they feel the need to do is just heal. Like they feel like they can out heal it, they just got to heal, and they keep healing. They'll survive the situation. It's all right, I'll just keep healing. But like you throw deadly injection out there, you have that 50%, I believe, right? Debuff.
Yes.
That goes out on damage. So already that's reduced pressure coming onto you. It has a humongous snare for 2.5 seconds now. It's such a good ability to use. It's so huge for alchemists. It should be incorporated by every alchemist into their play. You cannot afford to not throw it out there. And I want to come back to that. It was not seeing the nether shifts, the defensive nether shifts by Gazhag. That's a good point. He could have been throwing them out there for just those kinds of situations. But not only that, he had Nether Strike. An AOE silence that could have really reduced pressure and opened a lot of windows for Shadow Bolts, Blood Grips, all sorts of shenanigans afterwards. So, but these are just like these are just things that they'll work on, and it comes with progression. They'll play together, they'll get the strategies down, they'll understand what they need to fix. That's the best thing about tournaments. You come into these games, there's high pressure, everybody wants to win, and there's really no room for mistakes. So you're going to go over with a fine-tooth comb what you did wrong and what cost you those rounds, so that it never happens again. That's the mark of a good team. And those guys, they were grade 23. They're not going to, make that same mistake twice. They're going to figure it out, and so that it never happens again. So I'd really be surprised to see them making the same mistakes, next time we see them in a tourney.
Yeah. And, guys, if you are wondering, this broadcast is actually being recorded, the ESL Final Cup. I did press the button. It does say started recording, so you guys will be able to check out these replays or any teams that are in this tournament if they want to know what, from a top-down view, what we think as commentators should be done. That is an option available to them. It's always good as a reference. And to tell you the truth, these guys are very experienced players. And we might be pointing out mistakes, and you might be like, oh yeah, well, yeah, they should obviously do that. But in the player's seat, you have a different perspective, and you are actually under the pressure of having to dodge, having to manage all the cooldowns of your opponents, all the cooldowns of your allies. You have call-outs about switching targets, one kind of positioning error, or you don't dodge to the right side, and the game completely changes, and you lose that kind of focus where you might think, oh yeah, well maybe I should throw out another shift, or I shouldn't use this here. It is a completely different world from the observer standpoint and the player perspective.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, I mean, just throw it out there. Look at us when we ladder. We know what we should be doing, but doing it is a different story.
exactly.
So
It's like
you get caught in these you get caught in these mindsets where it's like, oh, it's insurmountable. We can't win. And no, dude, you know what to do. Just do it. But you got these blocks that happen that you have to just get over. And tournament play is no different. Tournament play actually is a lot worse, especially since they were down a map. And down your first map, that is a huge blow to confidence. And it really takes like a lot of mental fortitude out of a team, a lot of experience and mental fortitude having played together to know that they can pull through that. So not every team can make that huge comeback where it's like they're down a map. They got pretty much ruffled in the first round. They took a round off of there, but the 3-1 is a pretty brutal loss. So to come back from that sort of situation takes a lot of concentration and focus. So, these are just things that come with experience. And, to be honest, DBH, Donors by Heart, these guys have been around for so long. They've played in like just about every tourney. I mean, they're just monsters. So, tough first round for those guys, but they definitely had a good showing.
Yeah, and to do a little bit of an introduction, it is a little bit of a bug. Not exactly sure why this happens, but it appears that, yes, they are grade 1, Cruz, Jolts, and Amazon. That is, in fact, not the case, because if you actually click on them, we've got grade 24, grade 24, and grade 27.
Grade 27.
So these guys are definitely not noobs by any means. That
Jolts,
is just a bug in the game.
Get hyped, guys, because Jolts, he was on Seeking for Perfection. He was on the team that is 152-0 in the threes. They are the top team in the world right now. Or not? They're not playing anymore, obviously, because Seeker got picked. But doesn't mean that they got to #1 rank in the world in the 3v3 ladder. So Jolt's forced to be reckoned with. I really want to see how he's adjusted his play. Take these Seeker changes into account.
Yeah, with the recent patch a couple days ago, Seeker did get some significant nerfs. But I think Seeker is in a better place, more balanced with the other bloodlines on the field, as well as some other bloodlines got some nice changes as well to improve their gameplay. Alchemist got nerfed as well, with the barrier but buffed because you can't outjump the deadly injection anymore. But we'll just have to see how these two teams line it up. And similar, buddy, take the honors. Take the honors.
Thank you, sir. As we already have Illusion getting procced by Jolt. He's down his Blitz, he's down his Illusion. He is primed to get focused right now. And Scriff, Wisteria, Malachor, they aren't going to let us an opportunity like that pass up, as Nether Shift is out onto him as well. So Karuz, they're already down defensive abilities. They're already down cooldowns. And a nice blood grip by Karuz onto Malachor, but it's not going to be enough. He spaces out. He gets back into position. Jolt's trying to put some damage onto Wisteria with the multi-arrow into Frost, but a double fire arrow comes out from Wisteria, and that's going to force them to play a bit more defensive as Jolts, gets his illusion proc, opts to just run back in there, but Scriff is sitting on a full ulti, and we can see him getting in position right now. There it is! Boom! 45 damage onto Jolts. Nice Frost Arrow into Fire Arrow combo, and he does have marksmanship running, so this is not insurmountable as Barrier comes out onto him. Amazon trying to get some heals, but that was just crazy damage coming out. In the meantime, Malachor and Scriff going to work on Cruz. Cruz finds himself all alone. Scriff coming back to peel. Nether Shift just in the nick of time to stop that damage. And in the meantime, Jolts and Amazon get the kill onto Wisteria. This is the kind of survivability that Cruz, they opted to change their comp up, and this is definitely paying off as Jolts eats another heroic charge. He's one hit from death. Frost Arrow onto Fire Arrow, but it's not enough. And oh my goodness, Cruz goes down as well. In the meantime, Amazon finds himself all by his lonesome versus Scriff and Malachor. I cannot feel more sorry for him.
Wow.
But
wow.
We spoke about this. We've spoken about this with Cruz. I've spoken about this with Cruz, Amazon, and Jolts. Like they're trying to change up their comp. They are known for actually playing Pomp, Guardian, Seeker, and because of the recent Seeker changes, Jolts being a little bit more vulnerable, not being able to cast double illusion, for example. They opted to go with a Amazon, on the Alchemist, and Cruz on the Harbinger for the Nether Shift and the Barrier for that added defense. But they really need to work out, they're still working out how this exactly is going to shape up as they get into the second round.
Yeah, they are getting into the second round, and a nice re-aim of that Shadow Bolt there, not to trigger that illusion. Good deadly injection by Amazon onto Wisteria. He's now down to about 50% HP. Good battle shot by Scriff, going to heal up his allies, give him a little bit more survivability. Jolt's getting hit in the Ice Arrow. Ice Arrows all over the place. Multi-shot, but another battle shot. That's going to give Wisteria a couple more HP points, keep him into the fight, as it looks like Lightning Arrow comes out, does the bounces. Jolt's using his EXs instead of the Marksman Ultimate on that Seeker. Nice play right there, and look at that. They are putting on so much pressure that Malachor isn't able to line up his lockdown, and that's not giving Scriff any time to set up for his heroic charge. So using those EXs, gaining that kind of advantage and slowing their opponents, making sure that they don't get in a comfortable position where they're zoning, is really turning the tide for this team on the cold side, Team Shaanxi, as they are going to be taking it 1-1 against Donors by Heart. It is 0-0 in the maps.
We are seeing those changes come off. You know, we had great nether shifts, we had great barriers, and the fact that they're like using these defensive cooldowns so well, Jolts and Cruz, it gives Amazon the opening to live up to her skin. You know, she's got the Battle Alex skin, and she's definitely doing it. She's throwing out those deadly injections, throwing out those toxic vials, getting every little bit of damage out there that she can to support. And we saw it pay off. Wisteria went down early that last round, all because, you know, it was essentially a trip DPS going on. But what am I saying? Jolt's getting caught out already at 40% HP, forces the nether shift, and now Kuruz is vulnerable. Scriff is taking advantage of it, and man, marksmanship already from Wisteria. This could be it. Fire arrow comes out onto Amazon. Not a lot of damage. Jolts is sitting pretty with the nether shift, though, and we do have a lockdown into max heroic charge coming out from Scriff, and that is it. Beautiful job. Complete turnaround by DVH. These guys, straight nerd ballers. Jolts getting just worked over by Scriff right now. He is not happy with this situation at all, as Amazon is forced to try and run away. Scriff singing on another full ulti, and he's lining it up once again, and Scriffs it. Oh, beautiful job, Scriff. We can always count on you to like whip at least one of those.
Oh man, you know he even said he did that on purpose, just for the audience.
There you go. Yeah, he's got to give the show, and Scriff, great guy.
Yeah. Oh, you know what happened though? You know why that round did not go so well for Team Shaanxi? Jolt played overly aggressive. He tried to get that double blitz combo in the beginning, but guess what? As soon as he did that second blitz, he got interrupted and by an ice arrow, and that just left him in a vulnerable position. Cruz didn't have the nether shift for himself because he decided to go on in, and that led to major capitalization, as we are going to be having a 2v1 against Jolts. Jolt's going to throw out that nice lightning arrow. Scriff going to be at 50% HP. Nice nether strike. Malachor is silenced, but that battle shout going to heal for 33. Now they're going to go on to Amazon. This could be very dangerous for the Alchemist, but barrier and nether shift getting someone out of there. Jolt's going to try and get some heals. He needs some heals. What is Amazon doing? He's sticking in an ice arrow. He tried to throw out a couple M1s to keep the pressure up, but did not heal Jolts in the meantime. And I think that was a pretty major blunder, but a great ice arrow right there, locking the healer out. And if you can control the healer, then yeah, you don't have to go for an Alchemist. Alchemist has limited mobility, so very susceptible to ground targetable AoEs like ice arrow, EX ice arrow, for sure, because it keeps the duration much longer. Alchemist doesn't have the greatest move speed, and if barrier's down, you don't have anything to really help you out in that regard to move out of the way of projectiles.
Yeah, and we saw just it was a mistake at the end there. You know, Jolts was playing perfectly. He got the pressure up there. He wasn't making the mistakes that cost them that last round. But we saw a bit of miscommunication come out from Shaanxi at the end, where barrier and nether shift were overlapped, and Jolts possibly could have survived at the end there had one of those cooldowns been up. But I feel, perhaps Amazon was in such tight spots that, they were forced to use both of those cooldowns, but really, you don't want to overlap such important cooldowns. Those are your two hugest defensive abilities going out, and having those overlapped where barrier isn't doing its job and absorbing damage, and, Jolts didn't have anything at that point. She was caught out, and it was just enough for Scriff to get the kill. So, there's a little bit of miscommunication at the end there. Amazon, positioning-wise, was getting caught in the corner. Wisteria was keeping them separated, and Jolts and Cruz were doing a great job putting the pressure out there in the meantime, but Amazon was just getting completely farmed by Wisteria. And that's not a good situation, especially since, like you've mentioned, Alchemist does not have the best mobility. So, you get caught in those corners, and it's just so hard, so difficult to get out of there without support from your teammates. So we're going to see if they can change things up and, maybe just get that coordination that they need to pull a win here, as they are already down, 1 map to 0.
Yeah, so Shaanxi, this is a similar type map to Citadel of Amma, which we were just on. This is going to be Dubaku the Fallen Fortress. Huge middle map way right there. Although the side alleys are a little bit different. You do have that choke point up top. If you do decide to go on the higher ground, there's no difference between staying on the higher ground or the lower ground. It doesn't affect your projectiles in any way. But it is a little bit more of a choke point. Alchemist might be able to hide behind these corners if Shanxi does get a little bit more pressure going out. And on the bottom round, you can also do the same thing, be a little bit sneaky like Karuz so that you don't see him trying to cast a Plague. And look at that, Jolt's already going in, using that Blitz. Now his illusion's down, Blitz is down. He's going to have to Ice Arrow, and oh, he gets feared away. Nice job by Malcor. That's going to be huge energy gain. And look at that, taunted back in. That is not looking good. Illusion not triggered again, and Jolt is probably going to go down. Good nether shift, good barrier right there. As it looks like they are going to be putting the hurt in. Scriff completely misses his ultimate. That's huge, but is he still going to get Jolts? No, that's not going to happen. Lightning Arrow comes out. He could get Wisteria. No, as Karuz is not there to follow up. I believe an EX Fear came out from Malcor, and that is going to be it. Wow, nice play. You know, Jolt's again playing overly aggressive. He can't double that illusion because of the new patch change, and I think that is really affecting his gameplay.
He's really used to it now. You know, that's the thing. I was talking with him. He's so used to having that double illusion to get him out of those tight spots. You know, people say, why wouldn't you just double Blitz? Well, Blitz can get stopped. Blitz, you're not immaterial. Illusion allows you to go invis and be wherever you want on the map. So you would much rather use that because just being able to reposition yourself completely, be completely out of harm's way is more viable in my opinion. But, you know, Jolt's not used to having that anymore. You know, he's only got the one, and Scriff and Wisteria are waiting for it. They're not going to make the mistake of rocking that every single time. So he has to make adjustments here and has to play a little bit less aggressive as he's going for the double blitz combo onto Wisteria, but he is now all alone. Lightning Arrow comes out. Nice pull by Karuz to get him out of that tight spot as Scriff still laying the M1s in there. Amazon able to get some heals off. He is in a better position right now as, oh no, the double lockdown comes out onto Jolts, and Jolts has the debuff. Karuz, he is in a good position though. Karuz is there, but Amazon is caught in the corner. All three of the Warm Team members on top of him. Nether Shift out there to get him out of there. He has an ult, drops it on Scriff, but Scriff sitting on the full ulti. He's gonna nail it. Barrier out in the meantime, but Jolt's just not able to stay alive against the pressure from Wisteria and Malcor. In the meantime, gets caught in the corner, and as Scriff hunts down Amazon, Karuz finds himself all alone. And once again, you know, 2-0, just they're getting split up is really what we're seeing here. They're getting split up, getting line of sight issues, cooldowns being used that they're just being forced in every way to not play their game. They're just getting completely handled by Donors by Heart. They're controlling, you know, how this map goes, and I really at this point I don't see what Jolts, Karuz, and Amazon can do to turn this around in their favor.
Well, Jolts doesn't need to be going in like that because now Scriff can just jump on in. Oh, the illusion got triggered, but you know, Scriff now he can still go in. Wisteria is there to follow up, and Nether Shift and Barrier both used. And this looks like a nice fire arrow is going to get on out, but Jolt's going to use that Chrono, illusion himself over towards Malcor. He's playing extremely aggressive. Good affliction that's coming out. It looks like Karuz going to be trying to do something as Amazon is in a ton of trouble. Good Nether Shift right there. Keep himself out of the way as Nether Strike comes out. Malcor could be in trouble. Is he going to get the lockdown off? He is in the goo. Is he going to go down? One more hit. Yes, he is, but Jolt's actually going to get on out of there with the Nether Shift after the illusion. Barrier coming on him as well. And this is the turnaround that they needed. Actually, the aggressiveness of Jolts did pay off this time, surprisingly, along with Karuz hitting some great blood grips, getting the Shadow Bolts in the back at the same time, throwing out the afflictions when they're all bunched up on Jolts. I think that might have been the strategy they were going for. As you can see right there, Ice Arrow to Affliction is really going to do a lot of damage over time, as well as give Karuz a nice buff. It's going to heal Karuz so he can save the Nether Shift for Amazon or Jolts. And also it applies a slow to the enemy team who is caught in it. And that is actually going to be turning it into their favor. So we'll have to see if they can repeat that process or if it was just one of those mulligans. And they might not be so lucky this time.
Scriff sniping that taunt, gets those blood stacks up, and he's going to decide to put pressure. Shield slam onto Amazon, gets that debuff out there, immediately cleansed off, and Karuz and Jolt's already taking significant damage. Jolts is sitting on a full ulti. He did pick up that rune. Let's see when he decides to use it, as marksmanship is going to be extremely key. A good marksmanship could turn this in their favor as Amazon gets caught in the corner again. There it is. Marksmanship comes out. Fire arrow, but a max range heroic charge by Scriff, and that puts an end to that. No more. Jolt's just too low to handle it. Amazon getting focused yet again. Lockdowns come out, but they're dodged, and this is just going to be completely in favor of DBH. I cannot see this going in Amazon's favor as she is getting just demolished by Scriff. Fear gets her, Scriff hunting her down with that axe, and Karuz finds himself once again all alone. They're just playing this beautifully. They know that Amazon is vulnerable, Jolts is vulnerable, so why bother with the Harbinger? Harbinger has no real CC. He just has the damage. So if Malachor, that's the thing. If Malachor uses those Chronos well, if Scriff has the Reflex, they're not going to see a lot of pressure coming out of Karuz, as he was bottom of the damage for the damage dealers. And really, Harbinger, you can just kind of ignore him in certain situations, especially with Jolts on Seeker. Like we saw many rounds there. You force those defensive cooldowns, and Jolts is just such a viable target. He has no way out. He does have the Ice Arrows, but you can predict those. It's they were playing, Donors by Heart were playing the correct strategy, and it completely paid off in their favor. Like we saw that last round, they just got Jolts low, and then he's forced to play defensive. He's not allowed to play his game, and they can just whittle them down from that point.
Yeah, and Jolts, really in the beginning, I would say overly aggressive. He can win the range war. He has the largest range in the game, and comboed with Alchemist, they should be able to create a good zoning field for them to play around in. But, that just really didn't happen, and, you got Shadow Bolt, you got Blood Grip. Both abilities can start the fight, really, or, after you get that burst 48 damage, that gives a lot of energy. You can actually, get that Blood Grip after. It forces the Worm team to be defensive. You can take the middle ground, take the rune, get up that energy, get the map positioning you want. Once you force them in the corner, AoEs become a lot more viable. Ice Arrow, they have less places to dodge. Affliction, they have less places to dodge. And I would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit more passive play from Jolt in that aspect, rather than just charging on in, using the blitz, and hoping that Scriff would hit that illusion.
That's the thing. You can't hope. You have to be sure. Like, it's correct, dude. It's completely correct. There's maybe a bit too much. They had a zoning comp. They had everything they needed to just create this safe bubble around them, where only Wisteria was going to be the problem. Being as Wisteria's on that Seeker, she can, counter zone, get those fire arrows out, all that. But, you got Shadow Bolts, you got fire arrows, you got ice arrows, you got all sorts of tools to keep them at bay and just whittle them down until you get that opening that you need to get in there safely. But like you said, we were seeing too much aggression coming out from Jolts. That forces defensive cooldowns out of Amazon and Karuz that they do not want to use yet. They want to save those for the times that it really matters, and they're forced to use them early. And that just completely throws the advantage in DBH's favor, where they're like, okay, they're down barrier, they're down nether shift, we can basically do whatever we want now and just go to town, and they're not going to be able to recover from the situation. Yeah. And so we saw it time and time again, where it's like those cooldowns go down, and then it's just unstoppable Scriff, coming in there, landing the M1s, landing the taunts and heroic charges and everything, just pulling everything out of the hat. And Malachor Wisteria just backing him up.
Yeah. No, I agree. I completely agree. And Vanguard really got a pretty nice buff this most recent patch on his Shield Slam, rather than it just, knocking back a teeny ways and him just having to get right next to his opponent. It actually has a little dash to it. So that gives him that little bit of burst mobility to either dodge AoE projectiles coming to hit him, or he can use it for a little bit of positioning and catch his opponent off guard. Most people are not used to the Vanguard change, where he dashes forward and then knocks you back a good bit of ways. On that knockback, he can also combo his taunt or his War Axe, which is his projectile, which silences your M1 and your M2. Because of that knockback, it is much easier to snipe and to land up. It gives Scriff a little bit more time to actually try and line it up before his opponent can move. And that is one thing you really have to note, and he used it very effectively in that last round, especially against that Alchemist.
And, he also used it in defensive ways to dodge, abilities, big abilities out of a cold team. We saw him, dodge ice arrows. He was getting out of the way of, big cooldowns like Shadow Bolt. He's using it, in an offensive manner and as well in a defensive manner, playing very Branded-esque, with that lunge.
Yeah.
So
we are going to be seeing All-Seeing Eye right now on the cold team instead of the Team Shanxi, and we're going to have to see how they deal with this, as it is going to be 0-0 for both these teams. Looks like Wisteria is already going to go in. Wuchu triggered, not too good by June over there, as he is going to try and get his focus stacks back up. Execute could be coming out, nice back hit, but the lockdown comes out, and Yafa is going to be going on down. Wiki might be able to do something, though. As a Harbinger, he does have Dark Ward up, and that is going to allow him to, do a lot more damage, get that health back when possible. But a nice interrupt by Wisteria onto the rocket launcher that June was trying to throw out. And look at that. Scriff has absolutely been practicing left and right for, a couple months now, trying not to whiff his ultimate anymore, and he has been on his game with it. I don't know if he's found the right type of whiskey to drink. He always tells me he has a bottle by his table side. If he found the right type of whiskey, it's really helping his game play out. He's not missing quite as much back in the old days when He didn't miss. He missed one.
Miss a thing. He ruined Jaffa's day there. That first round, he landed every single war axe on Jaffa. Jaffa unable to heal, unable to do a thing. And, they were just looking for that opportunity, and Scriff found it. He just put that pressure on Jaffa. She forced the other side. They were in a defensive position. Jaffa had nothing to get out at that point, and they got them to kill. So just Scriff, man of the hour, once again. And already, laying the damage out there. Wisteria taking some damage, but Wiki forced to use that nether shift, trying to get onto Malachor, get some pressure out there, but Malachor sitting on a full ulti. Space is forced out of Junimaj. Jaffa, this is it. Lockdown. Can we see it? Ultimate is up on Script. Let's see when he decides to use it, as he's going to try and get some damage. But no, rockets come out. Beautiful rockets. Right into Chrono, though. He laid in 2 of those Chronos. But there it is. Max Rage. Boom! Heroic charge onto Jaffa. He sees her coming out of the other side. He lines it up beautifully. And that is it. Script once again with the kill. And going to try and intercept. Wiki does have the nether shift rocking, though. And he is just going to get M1 down from this point on. But, we saw a bit of a strategy change where they tried to get some more pressure on Malachor and Wisteria, but Scriff, just a monster, man. He saw the opportunity and he took it. Just forced that other side, and you're looking at it. You see he has a full meter, so he's watching everybody on the map, and he sees her come out, and it was just beautiful, beautiful execution.
No, I agree, and that's the thing about Vanguard too. You don't realize how much of a range Heroic Charge has. If you're not looking at Vanguard the moment he's charging that Heroic Charge, you are going to be hit by it because you don't see it coming. It's very fast, and he's usually off to the left or right side, out of your camera range sometimes, depending on which way you're looking, and he can actually hit you for that burst 50. Very huge, as we do have, 2 members on the Worm team down to 50% HP, but this is when they start getting pretty lethal once they get a little bit of meter. Malachor going to space in. Nice swap of positions by Malachor, coming by his teammates, not going to be staying in a dangerous situation. Lockdown coming out, going to guess it onto June. That's going to keep him CC'd for 3.2, and that he's going to get that fear off afterwards. So it looks like we do have a pissed off Psycho Pump just throwing out the heals. Wiki going to be healed up quite a significant amount. Donors by Heart team on the Worm side still doing pretty well. June, is he going to get a rocket launcher anytime soon? One more bullet and he could get it. He's just missing. Execute going to happen onto Wisteria. That's going to bring him back over. Woj is out, and that is going to leave an opportunity for rockets to come bounding out of the barrel. And a big Bertha just going to be for... Oh, no, that was a regular mortar. Whoops. Just saw the projectile a little bit weird because... Execute, very nice play, and what looked like a kill onto Wiki, and maybe a little bit early, is not going to happen, but it's actually coming out right now as I am eating my words left and right. Any 2 on the Donors by Heart team, every time they get down to like a 2v3, they always pull it back some odd how, as a good heroic charge comes out into M1 from the stacks, and wow, ladies and gentlemen, that is how fast things in this game can turn around. Oh man, that is really...
Don't let your guard down at any second.
Man.
Even if you've got the life lead, even if you're up 1 player, like Scriff manages to just sneak in and get that rune, that orb. 30 energy for him, just enough to get the heroic charge. And Junimaj, sitting off in the cut trying to plink those M1s, gets like 400 pounds of Vanguard in the face.
400?
Complete turnaround, man. Complete turnaround.
When did he gain that extra 100 pounds? Because he was just
Scriff is just such a baller. You got to give it to him. It's all that nerd blood he's been drinking, man. Just adds to the weight. He's been gorging himself right now, dude. These past few rounds, we've just seen him. He's been a glutton. But why is he not playing a glutton? He's just been guzzling that stuff.
Dude, it is high in calories, but it has good antioxidants, I hear. So, but wow.
Monstrous. But I was about to say, they were looking so hot, so good. At the start there, All Seeing Eye. They were playing much more defensive. They were playing the zone game. They have those abilities like Execute and Shadow Bolt to really make Malachor, Wisteria, and Scriff scared about getting in there because they have the possibility of eating 50 damage to the face or 38 damage to the face. It's like they were playing that zone game and they weren't taking damage, but then we just saw kind of a breakdown. Wiki got capitalized on, and that was the opening that Malachor, Wisteria, and Scriff needed. They got the kill. There was the counter kill onto Wisteria, but at that point, Malachor and Scriff, they had the momentum. They had it going for them. And they took advantage. Maybe Jaffa and Junimaj, they were sitting on that life lead. They got a little confident, and it just ended up costing them in the end. But really solid play coming out of them in the beginning with the zoning game, and really getting Malachor, Malachor, Wisteria, and Scriff pretty low, right off the start. So we almost saw a round go in their favor. They just need to reproduce that this round and not make the mistakes that cost it last round.
Oh, man. And you know what? Interesting news. Your analysis is absolutely correct. But on a side note, at blgtv.net, in the live stream chat, Scriff was saying he found his weakness. It was the whiskey. I always said that he has whiskey by his side. He's actually playing sober today. And that is why he's not missing all of his ultimates. And, really, it's coming to a point where he's not missing anymore, so we can't say he scripted an ultimate. That term might just fly out the window. We might have to go back to smurfing an ultimate when Monster Smurf, one of the developers, would always, no matter what character he played, miss his ultimate completely and be laughed at by everybody on the field and on the dev team in closed beta. But here we go. We're going to see one map in favor of Donors by Heart, who's just been running the competition quite recently. And, a great Wuju right there. Going to be on the Junamash. And that's going to give Wisteria a chance to go in. But he actually threw out Runic Discharge nowhere. He's still going to get those stacks onto June. Could burst it for a big 30 right there. 3-0 in his face as Wiki going to get that Shadow Bolt cross court. Malachor coming in for the pressure. Good other side. Execute coming out from June. Going to try and apply a little bit of counter pressure. But Malachor, they need to focus on one person on the cold team. Right now they're spreading the damage around and it's just not working. And an excellent reflect into a lockdown, into a heroic charge. So the beast is unleashed yet again this round. An amazing play by Scriff, Malachor, and Wisteria. At this point, it might not seem so spectacular that they're doing that combo, but really, it's harder to pull off in actual person than it is just from this top-down view. We are just seeing them play it over and over and over again. And, mid-heroic charge gets swapped. Get owned, Scriff. Wow, that is a bug in the game. That is still right. I forgot that you can swap mid-heroic charge. That sucks, but I guess Psychopomp OP over Vanguard in that aspect. Wow.
Just line it up, and you can stop it. You can ruin Scriff's day. But yeah, man, like you were saying, that heroic charge into lockdown is such a key combo for them, and they're just getting so good at landing it effectively every single time. As Wisteria gets in there already, Rune Shield is down. We'll have to see, how Wiki decides to capitalize on this, as he can start going in with the M1s. But Wisteria gonna get in there, start landing the silences, eats a Shadow Bolt to the face, as well as an execute. Just too much damage, as Wisteria's already down to 40% HP. This is great turnaround for the cold team, as they just need to keep this pressure up, and they can net a kill. Angry Psychopomp on the field. Double Spiritual Link, will we see it? It needs to come out right now as Lockdown follows, and that is it. He gets locked down, and in the meantime, Wiki gets hunted down by Scriff. That was not what needed to happen. Joppa needed to get those heals out there right away as a heroic charge. Point blank into Rocket. Scriff doesn't care. He dodges those in midair. Just beautiful job once again by DBH. These guys just not giving an inch for All-Seeing Eye to work with here. They're not giving him any room.
But, one thing that happens, and I'm seeing it over and over and over, is spread damage onto Wisteria and Scriff, but none onto Malachor. Look at this. Malachor is taking so little damage, but all he does is just spam heals and throw out Chronofluxes all day. That's all he's doing. He's standing way in the back, and, really, Scriff and Wisteria are so tanky that they can sustain enough damage and Malachor can heal them up, as well as they have self-healing abilities. They need to take out Malachor, or at least control him before they do any damage onto Scriff and Wisteria for any kind of strategy to work, as we already have Hoffa at 50% HP, Wiki 50%, and June just really not doing a whole lot. Good job with that shield bash, going to be reducing damage by 50%, and this is a complete and utter stomp. Scriff saying, I don't care about that lockdown, I don't care about any more of that damage, I'll do enough as is, and that is going to be GG. Well played, 3-0, and this is just too much to handle for any team going up against Donors by Heart with that nice Vanguard change, although Inhibitor was nerfed a teeny bit last patch. That's okay, they are doing such a great job on the teamwork. Scriff doing a much better job with that shield bash, and if you notice these past couple rounds, like when Hoffa, or I guess it's Jaffa, according to somebody else, Jaffa used the Guardian Spirit, the ultimate, which allows you to do 2 Spiritual Links, 2 heals, or 2 M1 shots at once. Scriff was like, okay, I'm just going to put the shield bash onto you. 50% reduction in damage, 50% reduction in healing. And that lasted a good bit during the ultimate. If we want to take a look at the Vanguard and how much that controls, just look at this right here, Shield Slam. 50% reduction for 4 seconds. Now, if we look at the Psycho Pump, it takes a second for the ultimate to pop before you can get any ability out. It lasts 8 seconds. So for about half of the ultimate, Psycho Pump really wasn't doing a whole lot in terms of damage and healing. And that's the kind of things you need to be thinking about, and that's what top players do.
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Oh, get out of the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you an invite here, buddy?
Okay, throw me one. But the top players think about that, and they don't just use their abilities sporadically. They always know the best situation and the best time to use it, because that's how you defeat your opponents. If your opponents are just spamming out their abilities, they're not going to combo them correctly. They're not going to reduce as much damage or as healing as possible, and that's going to lead to your victory over your less informed or a little bit more confused opponents who are not playing in that kind of Mushin mindset where you know exactly what to do in every situation. And that comes with practice, and that comes with analyzing the game and the game mechanics. And as we are seeing right there, Donors by Heart, if we take a look at the ESL brackets, which I'll post in the blgtv.net chat, Donors by Heart is going to be sitting in the winner's bracket for the grand finals. But we are going to be going on down to the loser's bracket, where it's going to be Shoxy versus Anime Runkaret. And this will be an interesting game, as I believe both have Seekers on them. Am I not correct?
Yes, Noerty, opting for that Seeker, and Gazhag on the Harp, actually. So, actually, this is going to be a mirror match. So it's going to come down to, who executes best. And I'm kind of curious to see how they pull this off, seeing as how... Jolt's Cruise and Amazon really haven't adapted to this style of play yet. They haven't played too many games with this comp, so they're still learning the finer points and getting that execution down. So we're gonna have to see what is Gazhag, Darkness, and Noerty, Anime going to be able to do about that to mess with their heads and mess with their game to stop it. But what is this? Okay, so we're not having a mirror match at all. Gazhag's trolling me. He is going for a Stalker, no Harb in this round, and I'm curious to see, what's gonna happen here as Gazhag, playing a Stalker. We haven't really seen too much Stalker in top level play at all, and they're completely changing it up. They're going with the double brushdown comp, Stalker and Reaver. So this is gonna be crazy, dude.
With Stalker's change, I'm gonna be interested to see what they do with it and how they actually play it out in this ESL Cup, the Finals Cup. I mean, with the recent change to Stalker, you got to be really gutsy or really know what you're doing in order to play it against these top-level teams. And we're going to have to decide if it was a good choice or not right now, as the countdown is out and we are ready to fight. But, Reaver actually getting some nice buffs right there, and he's going to be taking the first blood hit as Gazhag going to use the Puncturing Strike, Black Dagger onto Karuz. Karuz not going to be able to move while he's in that. Ice Arrow comes out, but Gazhag looking like he's very lethal at this point, moving around well on the map. Darkness Master just going to be throwing out heals from the back, no pressure onto him whatsoever. Gazhag going to be using his, Dark Shroud. He's going to be just going around, bouncing around the map, going to be doing a lot of damage to Amazon, and this could be very bad as Jolts is getting low himself. But Noerty opting not to use the ultimate. He doesn't have it yet. Gazhag down low pretty well, as he is just about to get that kill onto Jolts. Misses the Puncturing Strikes, and Darkness Master going to take any pressure off from Karuz by getting that sleep just for a little bit. Here it is. This could be the ultimate from Noerty. Here it is. Boom! Shakalaka! Drunken Brawler coming out. But the counter kill that Karuz got could actually make it in the favor of the Warm Seam. As, I don't think there's really anything this Cold team can do with such a health advantage, and Amazon being in such a nice situation with having Nether Shift and a barrier on his side, as well as some heals.
Black Dagger comes out, and it was maybe just a bit too much aggression coming out of Gazhag and Noerty. There were some kill opportunities that weren't taken advantage of, Jolt being pretty low, and them dodging the illusion. They're not proccing the illusion. Jolt's getting the blitz off, but I mean, it's still all the opening you need to get the kill onto him. But Gazhag and Noerty, they're not going to be able to make it back from this. They're both like one hit from death. Gazhag's sitting on the full ulti, so let's see. There it is. He's going to try and get some damage onto Amazon, I believe, as, yes, there it is, to deviate onto him. But not going to happen at all. Karuz lays into him, and he goes down. But we just saw a bit too much aggression coming out of Gazhag, perhaps. That's the problem with Seeker, especially since Puncturing Strikes no longer does three dashes. You only do 2, so it's like the old Puncturing Strike, where you go back to the position you started in. Now, this could be considered a weakness, seeing as how everybody on the field is going to know exactly where you are at the end of that. So they can line up the Shadow Bolts, they can line the Blood Grips, they can line the Fire Arrows, they can do whatever the hell they want. So, it takes a lot of finesse. Like Cass said, you have to be really ballsy to play a good Stalker. And already Gazhag getting some damage taken. Nice double Frost Arrow coming out from Jolts. And Norti's already at 40% HP, but Jolts is the same. We got M1s going into Jolts right now. He does get that double Blitz Combo off, but he is so low. Ulti from Gazhag. No, deviate. Regular deviate. Not ulti quite yet. He is close to sitting down that meter. And there it is. This may be the opportunity they need as Jolts tries to get the Blitz off. Norti coming back to support. And this could be it. M1's going into Jolts, but Illusion gets procced. Norti's sitting on a full ulti though, but gets taken out before he can fully execute it. Gets 40 damage off, but it's not enough. And Jolts and Amazon sitting pretty now. They're topped off, ready to go, and Amazon is sitting on a full ulti as well. Just to have to see when he decides to use that goo as Darkness Master getting farmed into the corner. He is caught, and that is it. Jolts, Amazon, Karuz collapse on top of. No way to get out of that situation. Jolts snipes Gazhag as he's running away, and that is, this is the problem, I really wish they had gone with a ranged bloodline, to support. Reaver is great with range support as well as Stalker, but both of them together, it's too much melee. You're taking too many risks to get there and try and put the damage out, where Jolts is going to take advantage of that. He has the range advantage. He's going to be plinking shots at you and forcing you to pay for every step you take to get in.
I'd like to see what they do against Jolts, as you are right. He is probably going to be their bane. But Karuz is doing a good job with the, nether shifts right there, as you can see, getting Amazon on out of that fight. And, not the best use of Drunken Haze, as Norty just uses it on targets that are already being pressured. And look at that, Amazon now just going to be taking a hit, not the full debuff duration. And you know what? Gazhag is just trying to train on to Amazon so hard. Jolts and Karuz are laughing as they're like, haha, we're just going to hit you in the back. I mean, all we got to do is outlast you a little bit. You're getting out of the line of sight of Darkness Master. You're Alchemist. You're not getting as many barriers. He's not going to be able to throw the deadly injections out like Amazon is because you're point blank and we're, running away around the corner. And the sleep's just not coming out as well. So a little bit of a positioning error, a little bit too much greed, and that is actually going to leave Team Shanxi with a 1-0 map advantage over Team Anime Run Karit.
Yeah, it's too much melee offensive pressure. Rushdown does not really work in higher level. Like it's just you take too many risks, and at this level, mistakes can be made so easily that, or not so easily, but they'll be capitalized on every single time. Is what I'm trying to say. So a rushdown comp, you're taking risks. You're taking calculated risks, but they're risks nonetheless. And with players like Jolts and Karuz, Amazon running around, these guys know what they're doing. They're not going to let that slide. They're like, okay, we know that you're going for Amazon. We can see that. She's taking a lot of damage. Now you're just going to try and tunnel her until you get the kill. Well, we're going to be hitting you the entire time. Let's see who dies first. It's Alchemist notoriously hard to kill, even when at a disadvantage because of the barrier. Because on top of that, all they had to do was Karuz throw Nether Shift on her, and there she is. She's sprinting away. There's no way you're going to catch up with her. And you're in a huge disadvantage because you're melee. You have no way to keep that pressure going. So we'll see. What Anime decides to do. They have to change. They have to change something here. So we'll see how they opt with the comp changes, and if not, the strategy changes. But already we see Gazhag going with the Harbinger, and we may see that mirror match after all.
Well, maybe. And Gazhag with that Stalker, with those changes. I was talking to Sigma Pact, and he plays Stalker almost exclusively, and he's still trying to get his mind around the new Stalker changes. And I was really surprised that he did choose that. And yeah, I think we are going to have that mirror match as you were talking about, and we are going to be seeing Seeker, Harbinger, and Alchemist. Seems to be a little bit of the flavor of the week, as you can say. Seeker is still very strong, but not as OP as he was before. He's just a strong bloodline. Still very killable at this point. And as we have seen with Donors by Heart, Seekers are really not a problem. This will purely come down to positioning and to who can hit their abilities, as it is a mirror match. And there's no excuse for losing about, being out-comped or anything like that. And really, a lot of compositions and a lot of team makeups in this game are very balanced. It just requires a different play style against whatever team you're playing against. As we are going to see, you know, Blitz to avoid that Shadow Bolt, and it looks like Gashag already using his Nether Shift. Karu's going to get hit by that Affliction. Gashag not going to try and Nether Shift that Shadow Bolt. That didn't come out, so good mind games right there. And it looks like Karuz is losing that Harbinger war. Karuz is not the main of a Harbinger. He does play other Bloodlines, as it looks like we have Noherty doing the double Blitz. One Blitz to get in, one Blitz to get on out, so safe play right there, as we do have Jolts maybe to look in and capitalize. Gashag could be the target of choice. No, he's just going to keep CC while he's in that Dark Ward. Amazon, one hit from death.